Hello, welcome to Dazliously Learning the Language of Autism. My name's Belle Berroyer, and this is another chapter to autism, play and the senses. Last week and previous weeks we've discussed all the senses, and last week was the sense of smell and how that can impact and affect play. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that it got you thinking and rang a few bells and just kind of made sense to many of you who were like, oh yeah, it just help. I hope it just helps open up some possibilities and things that maybe you haven't thought of before, or maybe you've thought maybe that could be something, and now you can sort of research it in a more, bigger way. So this week we're going to be talking about water play in all ways. Well, not all ways. I'm sure there's going to be many other ways we can play with water, but some of the ways that I've experienced and some of the ways that I've thought of that can either, encourage the children, adults who aren't keen on the element of water, and for those who really love it, and how you can feed that need and joy and really, just get into it with them through play. This is predominantly about play experiences, but with water, as young children, many of us, water is a necessity to drink it, and obviously to bathe in it. And as soon as we're born, we're put into a bath to be cleansed and cleaned. So it's quite a big subject, and it's quite a big challenge. Whether it's because autistic children love being in the water all the time, or whether they just really find water very distressing and challenging. So we're going to be talking about some of the possibilities as to why a child that's very sensitive might not like or enjoy water. So being in the bath play, and just generally playing with water. And we're also going to be talking about those that absolutely just cannot get enough of being in the water and want to be in the bath all the time, and they're just always trying to find puddles and, water. They just want water. So, and how you can help feed that, and how you can kind of make it safer and enjoyable for everybody in the house. Okay, this is all about the sensory needs. So keeping in mind, if you've watched the previous videos, of everything that we've said about sensory needs and sensory sensitivities, water play is just the same. What is seen as an enjoyable experience for many may also be, the biggest nightmare for many too. And if that is the case, particularly with, summertime water play with water spray guns and playing in the water tray at nursery, and, water spouts and water parks, if you have a child or an autistic person that is just not their joy, and they really just do not want to take part, then, we try not to shame them or make them feel that they're really weird because they don't like it, because everybody loves water. No, not everybody does. And that could be not just because of the water itself, but like I've said before, it could be because there's lots of screaming, squealing, unexpected squirts and things in the face, and it could be that the autistic person may well like just playing on their own, which is a big one for everybody else to accept, that it's not always as tragic and as sad as we might think it is. Sometimes playing on your own is more beneficial to some than playing in groups with certain activities anyway. So if that's the case, then honour that and allow them to have their own water experience on their own, in their own way. Or if they just enjoy watching, no surprise squirts or running over and squirting them or whatever, just do it nice and gently and sweetly. Okay, so I'm trying something different this time. I normally have things written up on the wall and notes all around me. This time I've written them on a computer so that I can just scroll down. So if I keep looking to the left, that's why. So first of all, if your child, your autistic child, your sensitive child doesn't seem to enjoy water, whether it be bath, play, or just generally anything to do with water, for your child, the sensory need just isn't there, or it's a very unpleasant experience. So we're going to talk about some possibilities as to why that may be the case. So I'm going to call it bath play, and I kind of invite you to see any activity that you do with your child, whether it be under the play heading or a kind of like, you know, a need, like a health need, a personal hygiene need, as in water. Just see it as another play activity. It's all play, it's all an experience, and to not separate the two. It's like every opportunity is play. So that I know quite a lot of kids and adults over the years that have expressed their real fear of being in the bath or being washed or being showered. And it was obviously, you know, quite a challenge, because there was times when, you know, there are times when you just have to get in the bath or be cleaned, you know, for hygiene reasons. So it caused a major stress for everybody in the family, especially the autistic person. So reasons why they may, and this list is not comprehensive in any way, shape or form. You know, it's a never-ending list, and there are many other reasons that many other autistic people will say this is the reason why I didn't like water or I didn't like a bath. So this is just, again, it's just a small list that will hopefully sort of get you thinking about possible other reasons. Look at it from a sensory perspective initially, and then work your way out. It may be, for example, just a small list, that in the bathroom, you know, it's a small enclosed space. So that in itself may be unpleasant for your autistic child. It's just too small and too enclosed. Therefore, any lighting that you have, depending on the lighting you have, may be unpleasant for your child. It may be the sound that you create when you're in the bathroom, so it's a lot more echoey, so it's louder and harsher on the ears if they have a auditory sensory challenge. It could be due to the fact that, you know, you have to be close to them and there's a lot of touching and personal invasion, which may, you know, for many that's, you know, really unpleasant. So it could be that they don't like to be touched, they don't like having someone that close to them, they don't like being spoken to, because there's just too many things going on in that room. It could be that the extractor fan, if you have one in a bathroom, which is quite common if you do have one, is too loud, it's scary, they don't like it. It could be that the smell of the bath suds or the bubble bath that you choose to use is really unpleasant. They may not like the feel of it, they may not like the look of it, they may not like the smell of it, they may not like the temperature of the water. It might be too hot, it might be too cold. I mean, my son is very heat sensitive and he is a water baby. Like, he is in the water all the time. He's at the beach every weekend, and we live in Wales, UK, so it's not because we live in a warm, hot, sunny country. He's got his wetsuit on and his special water shoes, and he's in the sea every weekend. He swims really well. He has always been that way, but he's very heat sensitive. And I discovered this, you know, through him having baths and me running the bath water at a warm temperature that was deemed, you know, not too hot for me. And then George started to get really weak and almost faint-like. And once he did almost pretty much faint, and I was, what is going on? and we figured out that it was just too hot for him. So it was like almost like he got hot from the inside out, but he couldn't tell me because he's non-verbal, and he wouldn't get out of the bath unless I got him out of the bath because he's very routine based. So there was a danger there. If he passes out in the bath and goes under the water, then we're in trouble, and I didn't know this. So this was something that I learned. So what wasn't hot to me at all, by no means, was too hot for him. So that's just an example. Same with the cold thing. It's something that you just have to figure out, and just having it planted into your mind could be that is a reason why. It could be that they really don't like being naked. I don't know, does your child rather have clothes on? And my son's the opposite. He likes being naked, prefers that. But some children don't like it. So it could be obviously he's going to be stripped off, she's going to be stripped off, and the feel of water on their skin, but all the other reasons may be too much. It may be that they know that when they get out, they're going to be rubbed with a towel, and their head's going to be rubbed with a towel, and any head rubbing or touching could mean just too much, too painful, just too much. And with that in mind, they will avoid the bath because they know what's coming. It could be the same with the rubbing of the towel. They just don't like it. They just can't bear it. So they'll avoid the whole being washed scenario. It might be that the taps freak them out if they see the bath running, or the noise of it, or just the action of it. It could be that they really love it and they want you to keep the taps running the whole time that they're in the bath. That was what it was like for my son. He likes the bath taps running all the time. If I turn them off, he thinks it's time to get out. So I just keep him running on low, really, really low, and then he's happy to stay in the bath. And he loves the water. So it's not because he doesn't like water, there are other reasons. So this is what I've been saying throughout all of these videos. Sometimes it isn't because of the actual activity, but it might be all the other things that are going on or around that actual activity that will stop your child from being able to enjoy the activity. So this is a good example of that. My son, anyone that knows him will go, oh my God, he's like a dolphin. He's just always in the water. So what the water itself, that's another thing I've added, is that some water, a lot of water has got chemicals in it, and the average person may be okay with that. Whether it's hard water, soft water, all water that's on the mains has got chemicals in it, and our sensitive children, it may irritate their skin. It may visibly show you that, which will be easier for you to fathom that out. But sometimes just because you don't get an itchy mark or a welt or an eczema mark or a rash or redness doesn't mean that it still doesn't itch or irritate your sensitive child's skin. So that's something else to bear in mind. It just may really burn or itch or sting your child, even if you've got the temperature right and all of that. So it's worth figuring that out. So what can you do? What can we do to help if they don't like water and being in the bath for cleansing and for bath time, bath play, therefore water play of any type? So these are just lots of different ideas. So you could create a visual board of what will happen in the bath. Break it down. You're going to be in the bath. We're going to do this, 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 and then a time scale. So the best way, I think, to give a child a time scale, and obviously this is going to take time for them to learn, is to have a egg timer of some kind. You can get really big giant ones with coloured stuff in, and you can buy some that do 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half an hour, 2 minutes. And I would recommend that you start your child in a bath, with literally like as minimal as you can handle it. So like 3 minutes maybe, or 2 minutes, and stick to it. So as soon as that is over, they're out. Whether you finish cleaning them or not, you have to stick to your word, because then you build up trust. If you start messing with the trust stuff, you're gonna get nowhere. Remember, if they're terrified, then trust is very important. Also, a visual of what is going to happen after bath. So make it something that they absolutely love. Like, not like use it as a punishment or a threat or a, if you don't do this then you can't have that. None of that. None of that. This is about just a simple visual board. When we've finished doing this, you can have this if you want to, or this, give them a couple of choices of things that they absolutely love, and then it will become part of their routine. But that will be like, hope, another incentive that, okay, I'm going to go through this, but this is what I'm going to get, not as a reward or punishment. I please stress that, because it's not a behavioural issue here. This is a sensory need and fear. So if you start punishing a child for that, it becomes very doubly distressing. They've got to deal with the sensory distress, and then they've also got to deal with the fact that they're going to be punished for it as well, for something that they can't help. So I'm not about that. I'm not about punishing. I'm not about threatening or, if you do this, you can have that. And I just don't think it's the thing to do. That's my opinion. So that's not what I'm suggesting. I'm just saying literally so they know what's going to happen next. And you stick to that. However they handle that bath, even if they can only manage to be in it for a minute and you see that they're really going into shutdown, get them out. Get them out and still give them that thing, that soother, that thing they love, whatever it may be, make sure they have it. It's really, really important. It builds up trust. So if you do get them in the bath, or they do manage to get into the bath, don't touch them at first. Like, just let them be in the bath. If they don't like being touched, don't use any soap at first. And then if you do start using soap, use organic soaps with non-allergens in. And when you're washing their hair, if you do wash their hair, don't rub their head. Remember, this is a process. So, you might think, oh, what's the point of putting them in there if I can't put soap suds on their hair? Well, you will eventually, but this is about trust. So it's real baby steps. And in bearing in mind that bathing and cleaning and hygiene is really important, it's worth taking the time over. It might seem like, oh, for goodness sake, we're pussyfooting around. Trust me, it is worth it, because then bath times and cleansing times all through the rest of their life will be a pleasurable experience. And it's important that, they're clean. So you got to build it up real slow. My son does not like having his head rubbed at all. He has a bath every night. He gets his hair wet every night. So I've had to build that one up real slow. And it went from dripping hair to me being able to put the towel on his head and just holding it there, going, and then release, and then waiting and saying, do you want to help me? And sometimes he would and sometimes he wouldn't. So now I can rub him ever so slightly. And that's still the case, and he's 14. And I honour that. Not everybody wants that. And it's not always necessary. So everything might take a little bit longer, but you just allow for that longer length of time for a bath. Okay. Environment. So you can do like low lighting. If it's because they don't like the light, keep the light off and just use a hall light, or change the light bulb so it's a real low vibe, brightness might be something that helps. Keep the water temperature warm, not too hot, not too cold, and just keep an eye on that so you can figure out what is the perfect temperature for your child. Extract a fan, like switch it off. If they love music and they're really into music, so some birds were singing out there, if they really love music, or they really like different colours, things, if it's something that they enjoy, then it might be worth putting into the bathroom. If it's not something they enjoy, then it's just going to add to their stress. So only do that if you know they really like it. We've already said about building up the time limit in the bath, starting real slow, like 2 minutes, and then letting them just be in the 2 minutes, making it really positive and getting them out before they get too distressed. That's the key. Try not to speak too much. just because if they're having a hard time, you know, a voice in an echoey room when they're already having a hard time might not be what they need. You know your child, so you'll know whether this is something that you need to do or not. If it's something that they like, or they like to hear you singing, or they like to hear you saying a certain word, then fine. But it's just something to bear in mind. If they really can't get in the bath or the shower, then try using a bowl of water first, and getting them to just, you know, splash. Use their favourite toys, as long as it doesn't distress them by using their favourite toys. Some children don't like to see their toy in the water because it's almost as if they can feel it too. Some toys are very, a part of them, an extension of them. So be real respectful of that. But sometimes it can really help. So their favourite toys or characters of, get a towel with their favourite character on it, or, stuff like that. Just really let your imagination go crazy. If they don't like sitting in the bath, let them stand up in the bath. Put a handle rail on the bath wall if you have to. Make sure you get a non-slippery bath mat. But they might not like sitting down at first. Get a little stool if they want to sit on a stool in the bath. Try all these things. It's so worth it. If they will only accept water in a bowl, then you can wash them little bit by little bit. You can use cotton wool. Yeah, I know, but it's worth the time. I know it's worth the time. You can get tarpaulin or a shower curtain. They're really cheap. You can buy really cheap shower curtains and they're waterproof. If you're worried about water all over your floor, and it has to be in the kitchen or in the lounge, you can get real thick tarpaulin that you can either get really cheap from these pound shops these days, or you could go into a builder's yard, merchants, and just say, look, this is my situation. If you haven't got any second-hand tarpaulin, or just, what's the cheapest you can do it for me? Like, go in and just be honest and see. You'll be surprised. Free Cycle, those kind of sites, they have stuff like that, and it means that you won't have to stress about your carpet getting wet. And it means that your child can be free to express themselves and explore water in a real stress-free environment for everybody. Remember, this is about everybody feeling stress-free. Ice cubes. Someone came up with that idea, which I thought was brilliant. It's baby steps. But if they can only handle holding an ice cube, you have got the challenge of it only being cold. You can't have hot ice cubes, obviously. But it's just an introducer to water. Just ideas. If it's because I don't like being naked, then let them keep their clothes on. Or have special clothes that they wear when they're in the water. I've heard this from other autistic people that they really find getting wet difficult. Some children hate getting their clothes wet and it stresses them out. But if this is for your kid, then let them wear a long sleeve t-shirt or something, or water shoes or socks or something, or special shoes that they can wear in the bath or in water. And remember, it's a process. It won't always stay like this. But if you meet them in their world and you allow that and enable that and let them really feel safe and secure in that, then you have a better opportunity, a better chance that they're going to start thinking about entering yours. If we keep trying to wrench them out of their world without any bind or leave, then it's automatically going to make them just go more within. It just is the way we are as humans. And you could try water sprays, psh, psh, psh. But again, not just to just go up to them and spray it in their face and go, ha, 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 that was fun, even with good intention. Spray it on other things, like a doll or not their doll, just any doll, or spray it on your skin. And just quiet play, gentle, gentle. Let them watch you in the bath or the shower. With you just doing it without going, oh look, isn't it? I think it's lovely. This feels nice for me, which is what a lot of us tend to do, to think it's the right thing to do. But sometimes, just because we love it they can't help not loving it, and it's just going to add to their stress. So sometimes just having an experience, just showing them what you're doing, nice and quick and easy, and then getting out of the bath, so that they know it's not just about them having to go through these experiences, it's like everybody does. I think that's a really lovely way of building up trust too. If they then decide to hop in the bath with you and they're fully clothed, go with it. Take every opportunity you can get. Remember that this is a process, and it's worth, I keep saying it because I just think sometimes we think, oh, it's just too much faffing about. But it won't be like this forever. In everything that we've tried with our son so far, that's needed to be built up because it's been a stress or a challenge, it's always paid off, whether it's toothbrushing, hair washing, head drying, food, new places. It's taken 10 times longer than it would with a non-autistic sensitive kid. But we have different types of children, so we have to get our heads around that, accept that, for a stress-free life for them and for us, and just do things differently. It just is what it is, actually, I think. But it's worth it. So this video has already gone on for, what are we looking at here, 26 minutes, which is quite long. I always like to keep them to half an hour. So I think I'm going to leave this video for just the video that is all about if your child is unsure of water. And the next video I do, I'm going to do if they love it. We'll talk about if they love water next week. This is all about them feeling uncomfortable with water. I'm just going to scroll down, and because there's at least another half an hour of that. And then the following week I want to do something on Christmas, and how that can affect autistic children positively or not so positively, and how we can support each other as parents and family members and carers to accept if they find Christmas not fun, and that they're not being bar humbug. It's just, with all the sensory stuff that we've discussed, with all that in mind, you can imagine how much Christmas could be, a nightmare. So I'm going to talk about that. So next week is going to be the likes of water play, and then the following week will be Christmas. I didn't know it was going to be such a long video, but I do these live as I go. I don't edit them out afterwards because I just like to go with how it all is. And it turns out that that's how long this video has been. So I hope that you found some of those things useful. Anything else you want to add, anything that you've tried that works, or if you're autistic and you've got other solutions and ideas and reasons, please, I really, really, really want you to contribute and share. The more we know, the more us neurotypical parents know, the more we can help our kids. And your knowledge and wisdom is gold. It's helped me so much as a personally, it's helped me so much, and I don't really listen to anybody else anymore other than autistic people, because it doesn't make any sense to. So I would love for you to comment on these channels or Facebook groups or whatever. And I say that too for parents, carers, family members that are neurotypical that are watching this. If I find any links that are useful and relevant to this video, I will put them either in my description, or they'll pop up. They pop up either up there or up there on my video, and with a little eye, and then there's links for you to click on and further research. So that's it. So please do subscribe to the buttons. It will be either my face or a little dazlious symbol. It's free, and it means that you'll get access to my videos straight away without having to look for them on Facebook or whatever. And you can share them and rewatch them and whatever you want to do. Okay, thank you very much, and I'll see you next week. Bye.